Have you ever wondered what the secret is to becoming a god at Minecraft PvP? Have you ever wanted to slice down your opponent's HP in one hit? Well, in that case, CrystalPvP is perfect for you. If you're unfamiliar with CrystalPvP, it is the highest form of PvP in Minecraft, requiring the most practice to master, but also being the most rewarding. In this video, I, Rasplin, am going to teach you everything you need to know in order to master CrystalPvP and become unbeatable. Let's start with the basics and see why crystals are so strong. End crystals, which are able to be crafted in survival using this recipe, have some of the highest damage output of any explosive in the game.
That's a lot of damage!
One crystal does the same amount of damage as a charged creeper. However, there are a few drawbacks. Crystals must be placed on obsidian or bedrock and only do max damage when they are at the same level as a player or mob. So you may be thinking, well, that's not very practical to use. But wait, there's a technique that every crystal PvPer must know. I introduce to you the hit crystal. By hitting your opponent into the air with a sword, it effectively puts them standing at the same level as the crystal, which lets you do maximum damage. But you're probably thinking, how did he just do that? Let me explain. The hit crystal requires you to have some muscle memory and quick fingers, but becomes very easy with some practice. Here are the exact steps to perform one. Step 1. Run forward and hit your enemy with your sword. This is easier with the knockback 1 enchantment, since the increased knockback gives you more time to do the following steps. Next, you're going to need to place an obsidian and crystal next to them while they're in midair. In order to effectively do this, you're going to need to custom keybind 2 hotkeys you're comfortable with. I use X and Q, but you can use anything you're comfortable with really, as long as you can hit them fast. With the crystal placed, all that's left to do is explode it by left clicking. If done correctly, you'll one-shot someone in full protection 4 netherite armor. Something that will make hit crystaling a lot easier is by applying slow falling with a multi-shot crossbow. When your opponent falls down slower, it gives you more time to perform the technique. Of course, you could always just crystal someone from below a ledge, which works, but against good players, they'll just pearl down and hit crystal you. Apart from the hit crystal, there's several other techniques that are more advanced, but we'll get to that later in the video, so stay tuned. But now that you're familiar with the most basic technique, let's talk about what you actually need to bring to battle. Your inventory is extremely important for CrystalPvP. Unlike other game modes where you're only using a couple items, you're going to need to utilize every inventory slot for CrystalPvP because of how dangerous it is. Here's a standard inventory that will ensure you success against the average player. Ender pearls are very important as they let you engage and disengage from battle quickly. Potions are self-explanatory and will let you speed around your opponent and hit hard. Make sure they're 1 minute and 30 second versions, which gives you the stronger effects. Totems are also a crucial part of your inventory since you're going to be taking a lot of fatal hits and they allow you to stay in the battle past death. You want to have a totem in your offhand at all times. The sword is necessary for the hit crystal, with the knockback 1 enchantment as mentioned before. Golden apples are the best source of healing and food, a crossbow and 30-second slow falling arrows for applying slow falling to make the hit crystaling easier. Maxed out armor with blast protection on the leggings, so you take less damage from crystals. Experience bottles to heal your armor with mending, a pickaxe in case you need to mine obsidian or dig, and of course your obsidian and crystals. You can organize your inventory however you'd like, and even come up with a weird hotbar like me. And a little fun fact, I actually created the crystal kit which is used today on PvP Legacy. With the inventory out of the way, let's take a look at the average game plan in a CrystalPvP match. So when you first get into a game, the first thing you want to do is something called pre-gapping. There's a secret stat in Minecraft called saturation, which lets you heal and take less damage. So by pre-gapping up to 3 times before engaging, you can maximize this and give yourself the advantage. After you pre-gap, use speed and strength potions. You can either throw them down in instant motion or directly up to give yourself an extra 10 seconds on each. Whichever you choose is up to you, but if you want to be safer, you want to throw them straight down so your enemy can't knock you out of the effects. Next, load your crossbow and apply slow falling. Keep in mind you'll need to shoot them again after 30 seconds, since that's how long the effect lasts per arrow. You can see here, I was just trying to trade hit crystals with my opponent. I engage again and get in a good hit crystal, but he doesn't pop, so I keep pursuing since I know he's low, and then he does. I apply slow fall again, and then we continue to hit crystal. You can see we struggle here since the knockback is random, but he eventually gets a good one on me, and so I have to pearl away and heal. Make sure whenever you heal to pearl away since they're gonna be close to you and you don't want to die. I eventually got him in a good hit crystal, and then followed up since I knew he was low, and I ended up winning. Let's talk about some more advanced crystal techniques, starting with the double tap. To perform a double tap, it's quite simple really. You just place more than 2 crystals and yeah, it does more damage. But looking to find something even more advanced, we can move to the butterfly crystal, where you place 2 obsidians and 2 crystals before your opponent hits the ground. This one's a bit harder to do and requires a lot of hockey practice, but again, like the hit crystal, if you practice it enough, it becomes quite easy. Now, there is one more technique that I created that I haven't talked about yet, and that's because not a lot of people can do it, but If you're wondering, the rocket crystal is where you make your opponent fly into the atmosphere. And if you're really interested in learning that, well, I made a whole video about that I'll put in the top right now. I'm not going to go too in detail in this video because it's quite a different strategy, but yeah, go check that out if you want. Really quickly, I just want to touch on the aspect of ping, or your connection to a server. You see, in Crystal, ping is what lets you place faster or slower. If you live close to a server host and have lower MS numbers, then you're going to be able to place a lot faster, as compared to someone who's in a different region and will have higher MS. Due to this, to give yourself an advantage, play a Crystal server that is close to where you live. What you're about to see is a big step up from the last fight because this player is way more experienced, and I'm going to commentate on what I was doing so you can see how to play against a skilled player. So the first thing you might notice is that people, when they get good, are way more aggressive, and you have to be careful because they will try to kill you at every second. To counteract this, pearls are your friend because you can use them to engage and disengage at your own will. Here we're just trading hit crystals, and you can actually put an obsidian on top of one so that they can't place. But I ended up getting low, so I had to pearl away twice here. I go in for another engage, but you'll notice after I pop, I don't re-potion because I know he's low at this point and I might be able to get a totem. But I wasn't successful, so I had to run again. And since he's playing aggressive, I expected him to follow me, so I had to pearl yet again and again. If I didn't, I'd probably die there. Now, if you're pearling away, something you can do is hold 2 totems and it makes you invincible, since it always pops your hotbar one first, and that gives you enough time to open your inventory and offhand another one. And you can see that demonstrated here as I hold another totem, so it's impossible to die. Something you can do on a ledge is predict their pearl and actually catch it, hitting them and damaging them. So I did that there and followed up since I know he was low and he did pop from that. And then I kept playing aggro since I know he was still low because he didn't heal yet. You'll notice that every time I pop a totem, I'll re-potion because you lose the effects when you lose a totem. And the way I do it so fast is by using hotkeys, just like the crystals. Here I do a butterfly crystal but with a pearl added in. I continue to play aggressively here since I know he's low and you can abuse that, possibly killing your opponent. Here's a perfect example of the invincible totem strat I was talking about earlier. I even chained 3 totems together here. We had a long fight but eventually died from butterfly crystal. GG. And with that, that is my CrystalPvP guide. I hope you guys learned something, and hopefully now you can dominate some Minecraft servers with some practice. If I've helped you out, then make sure to comment what you thought of the video. And if you want to help me out, I'm actually racing Only a Squid to 50,000 subscribers, so help me win the race. We're only behind by 1,000 right now.